a week out, do you feel like you have a pretty good feel of who, where, what, all of those things that kind of come with the season getting off?
I think a week out, we're in a really good spot to be a week out. So I think that when you're talking about the baseball and softball game, you're talking 60-game season. We are prepared to play another team in a different uniform, but there's going to be a whole different process getting into that part of it. So we are prepared for that. They've done a good job coming back in shape. We've got a lot of experience offensively. So now we need to figure out where that filters in for the pitching and defense, but in a really good spot to start playing some games. And they're excited for it too.
In the circle, do you like to have defined roles out of the gate, or do you kind of like them to feel it out and get the experience against other opponents and see how they handle it all?
Yeah, I think it all depends on your personnel, what you have coming back. So we don't have a lot of experience in the circle right now. So we're going to have to figure out what that looks like for us. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for pitchers to show us what they can do in games, kind of thing, just like a lot of freshmen have opportunities to show what they can do in games, where you have an expectation a bit of your returners. You know, you have an expectation of Mick as just as much as Harding or Mudge. They all have expectations because they've been here. So I think you just got to handle the month of February a little bit differently when you're looking at that. And essentially, we're trying to figure out what Team 41 can do when we start hitting the ACC series. So the month of February is just a really good time to feel out some really high level games on the road and at home. And then you get to the end of the month, you're like, okay, this is what we have here. This is how we're going to go do a 3-game series.
You mentioned you want to go to the pitching staff this year, and
Yeah.
you want to move forward. How important is to have what you have the variance in the staff this year as well? It's not just like one kind of pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've had that for the last couple of years. I think, of course we had Kat as a bit of a horse, and we used her differently the last 2 years. But we've really managed a 4 to 6 person pitching staff. So this year won't be any different. It's just that there's not names that everybody knows. So I think you guys are going to be riding the definition of the pitching staff as I go along too. Where last year you knew Kat was going to slide in there somewhere. We were all excited about seeing Mac and where she got to. So I think that same journey this season, you guys are going to be part of just as much as I am.
Coach, you have a new team saying all for one. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, I think at the beginning of the year, I always try to come up with something to guide us down a little bit of a common language. So, we obviously name the teams by year. So this is the 41st year. And I think as we go through the fall, like what is Team 41? And to me, I knew the only need everybody, the one only need everybody was going to be a big thing for us because we did have a lot of really good players graduate and they've turned the torch over, and now we need everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a senior or you've been in big games or you haven't. We've got to step up and get after it because we need you. So that has been our mantra, our mindset a little bit as we're going through the fall. And then it morphed into all for one. So it's Team 41. We're all in for Team 41. But it's also we only need everyone. So it's just kind of a common language for us. And then I'm sure there's some hashtag or something will show up as we get into season. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you guys name team captains?
We have a leadership group of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So that is our captain group, I guess you'd say, but we don't name captains. No.
Okay, so not like official.
Yeah.
No one has a C.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you guys, in almost every poll I've seen, have been top 5. So I know in last few years especially, you've raised the bar here at Florida State, so you're accustomed to being that way, but do you talk to the team about that? About expectations or anything of that nature? Yeah,
we had a chat about last week. It's really cool to have preseason accolades, a lot of players on watch list, a lot of the stuff, and it goes through our Viber group, congrats Harding, congrats Mick, all that cool stuff. But really what it's about is what are we Team 41 Game 1? So all those things are a little bit of hype off last season. They're a little bit off of people's expectations for what's coming this year, but nobody knows what's down the road for us. So I think that's how you talk about it is you just don't know what's ahead. But what we've done as this group right now is worked really hard. We're excited about our offensive-minded, experienced product, and then we're going to see what we do pitching and defense, and that's super fun and really cool. And so awesome. We're top 5. But it's where you finish, and it's how we finish, and we've definitely lived that the last 3-4 years. So we're excited for that opportunity too.
When it comes to the scrimmage on Saturday, as a coach, what do you want to take out of it? What do you want to see from the team?
So we're going to scrimmage Friday and Saturday, so we'll get a back-to-back scrimmage opportunity. So I'd like to see what our numbers are like back-to-back. And then Saturday's main focus, obviously fan day, it is in front of people. So, I think that this will be the first time freshmen walk out and they're like, oh, there's people in the stands, and it's not just my parents stopping by at the weekend or, so I think there's a little bit of, excitement, how you manage that excitement. So I think that's going to be a pretty cool moment for them, too, for our upperclassmen and our seniors. Like, it's a special, fan day is really special for us. And so it's going to be pretty cool for them, to have their one last round of fan day and the excitement for that part. So, but a little dry run, of, running in and off so a lot of our scrimmages, we run them in segments, right? Everybody run it 1, 2, you don't just play the flow of the game. So this is a little more of the flow of the game. There'll be umpires out there, that kind of stuff. So it'll be a little more real to then what 3 or 4 days later is.